Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me tonight on, I think this is either number 6, number 7, my 6th or 7th live. So I definitely appreciate you guys being here this evening. So let me just lay the ground rules, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Please utilize the chat function for any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys may have. And if you guys are here for the replay, obviously you can't use the live chat function. So please put your comments, questions, and concerns in the comment section below. So go ahead, guys, drop in the comment section. In the chat function. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know, where you guys are viewing this from. While I get into the agenda, let me adjust myself. Had a little technical difficulty starting up the broadcast a short time ago. And as people always say, the professionals, that's what we deal with when it comes to live TV or live YouTubes. So on the agenda today, guys, we're going to be talking about the new New York marijuana law. And the comment of the week, we're just going to have to scrap that, unfortunately, due to the technical difficulty that I had, getting all of the graphics and things together. So I'm going to have to forego that. And then, as always, my favorite part of the show, the live Q&A. So let me just jump into the comment section before I get started with the presentation. Chill man, still chill. Hey, what's up? What's going on, chill man? We got Terry, the barefoot vlogger, checking in from Florida. What's going on? Saying, hey, we say greetings to all. Conversations with D and D. Good evening, everyone. All right. Appreciate you guys being here and checking in. So let's just get right into the topic, which is New York State's new marijuana law. New York State has now legalized marijuana in the state of New York. Now, I'm going to reserve my opinions and comments a little bit, later on after the presentation. But let me just get into what New York State is now saying about this new marijuana law. So New York State, as of March 31st, 2021, New York State actually became the 16th state to legalize marijuana for recreational use. Now, under the new law, it's legal for individuals 21 or older to possess and to purchase up to 3 ounces of marijuana. Now, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but as I get into the presentation a little bit, you'll see what's going on. So what other states, wherever you're from, are you from a state that has marijuana as being legal? Drop that in the chat function. And again, if you're here for the replay, please make sure you put that in the comment section as well. So other states where marijuana is legal, that's included medical and recreational right here. Colorado, Washington, Alaska. Where do you grow marijuana in Alaska? It's winter, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. It's winter. So I don't know how you grow marijuana unless you're using grow houses, right? Oregon, Washington, D.C., New Jersey is the most recent one, South Dakota, Virginia, Nevada, Maine, Michigan, all of these states have legalized marijuana, and my home state of New York is now the 16th. So 3 ounces of marijuana. What does that look like? Does anybody know what 3 ounces? How about 1 ounce? Do you know what 1 ounce of marijuana looks like? Put that in the chat function below. And while you do that, let me just say, for those who do not know me, my name is Darnell Leeson, and I am your gracious host right here on Cops Court and Community. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. And again, those that are here live, thank you so much for joining me. And for those that are here for the replay, thank you so much for showing me what we call the replay love. So does anybody know what 1 ounce of marijuana looks like? Let me just go back into the chat real quick just to stay on top of everything. Big Mac Sam is here. What's up, brother? How are you, man? Thanks for joining me this evening. Ahan, about time they legalize it, and he is from Arizona. Appreciate you checking in. Ahan, for those of you who don't really get into the comments too much, this person, I don't know, male, female, I only see the dog as the picture there, but is always in the comments, always dropping the comments, question, and definitely keeping me in my toes. So I definitely appreciate you joining me live tonight. Thank you so much. The Barefoot Vlogger saying medical marijuana is legal in the state of Florida, but recreational marijuana is not. Doubt DeSantis would ever allow it. Governor Ron DeSantis probably will not allow it. I know Florida is very strict on, any type of drug usage down there. Set free and delivered. Hey, Triple C, great topic talking about the ganja, bud, marijuana. Can we drive illegally while high? Save your questions for the end, but I'll tell you that one. The answer is definitely no. And Big Mac Sam, not bad, hanging in there. Thanks, brother. All right, so let me get back into the presentation. So my question was, does anybody know what 1 ounce of marijuana looks like? No? Well, look at this. So this is what 1 ounce of marijuana looks like. Now, there are 28 grams in an ounce of cannabis, marijuana, which breaks down to about 50 to 55 blunts and around 80 marijuana joints. Now, another common object that weighs about the same of an ounce is a slice of whole grain bread. Now, look at that amount of marijuana compared to that small watermelon there. Look at that. That's insane. Now, New York State is allowing 3 times that amount. Did you take a good look at that? Look at that. 3 times that amount. That's an insane amount of marijuana that you can just have on your person out in public with no repercussions whatsoever. I'm going to reserve my thoughts about that. So individuals who are 21 or older, this is the law. All right. This is the law. Individuals who are 21 years or older may lawfully possess 3 ounces or less in a public place. You can have up to 5 pounds. 5 pounds. That's great. 5 pounds of marijuana in your home. A little typo there. It says residence, but it's supposed to be a residence. Possess higher amounts if you're prescribed, marijuana from your doctor. You can actually give lawful amounts of marijuana to people who are 21 and older, as long as no compensation is given, and you can smoke marijuana in public anywhere where cigarette smoking is allowed. So I can give you 3 ounces of marijuana right out in the open, right in front of the cops, and they can't say diddly squat. Do I agree with it? Again, I'm going to reserve my opinions on this subject. So individuals who are 21 and older may not give marijuana, obviously, to anyone under the age of 21. And if you do, you could be charged with endangering the welfare of a minor if that person is under the age of 16. Now, that's kind of a tough one to, I don't want to say prosecute. I've had a number of arrests, and I've had endangering the welfare of a minor charged once, and I didn't even put those charges on. This was something that the DA's office did once they saw what was going on, and it was kind of tough. I think at some point they just pled it out, but seeing it on the list of charges they added, it was crazy. I think they just ended up pleading that whole case out, but seeing it on charges, I think the person, maybe they just did it because of the charges being, upgraded to that endangerment. But I think it's kind of hard to prove and prosecute something like that with my charge. But with the marijuana, it could be a little bit easier. So persons of any age, so you could be 21 or 51, you cannot drive under the influence of marijuana. You cannot smoke marijuana while you're driving. You can't sell it for compensation. You may not smoke marijuana where cigarette smoking is prohibited. Your local bar, your restaurant. This is the one that kills me. Child care centers, and obviously within 100 feet of a school entrance, places of employment and indoor arenas. You can't smoke marijuana in a New York City park which is so stupid, where a no smoking sign is posted and you cannot smoke in or on the transit system. So if you're in the subway or on a New York City bus, or the MTA, Metropolitan Transportation Authority, if you're on one of their buses, or on one of their trains, whether it be the Long Island Railroad, Metro North, Staten Island, I think Staten Island Rapid Transit, you can't smoke marijuana there, which that's a given. But I'm not happy about this law. But again, I'm just going to reserve, my thoughts and opinions on that. Now, here's, I guess, a good part of the law, the record expungement. Now, this law automatically is going to create expungement for anybody who was convicted of some type of marijuana crime that's currently legal right now. So as the law sits on the books right now, if you were convicted of any marijuana crime that the law says is legal, your record is automatically going to be expunged. Now, I know in Nassau County, the DA, I think it's Madeline Singas, she's already, releasing people from jail, and she's expunging records already, which I guess that's good for those who were charged with, I guess, a minor or petty marijuana offense. So now here's something that's very interesting: the protections and use of cannabis and workplace safety. Now, it's going to be unlawful to discriminate your place of employment, which is kind of contradictory to something that they said earlier on. So what type of worker protection will there be? Now, I know I had a conversation with a colleague of mine, who gave an example. If you're a business owner and you own a restaurant and your employee takes their break, it's legal. Can they go outside 100 feet away from your business, roll up a joint, roll up a blunt, smoke one, then come back and start serving your customers? Me personally, I wouldn't want a server or, a waiter or anybody that's serving me my food or cooking my food, for that matter, coming back, after, getting high, on their lunch break. That makes absolutely no sense. So how could you provide worker protections for that? That's something I'm going to have to dig into a little bit more. I understand you can't discriminate because it's legal now, but I don't think smoking marijuana would fall into some type of protected class unless that's something that's buried inside the current law, which I haven't seen. But I'm going to have to look into that one. Now, what are the benefits of the legalization? Before I get into that, there's a couple of things in the comments. Let me take a peek, make sure I am good to go. Conversations with D&D saying that I am disappointed with this law, and I don't believe marijuana should be legal in New York City. Too many teens are already going to school high and not performing. Legalize it and watch and see what happens to our youth. So I'll touch on that. Let me just finish up the presentation, and we could probably just discuss all of this in the live Q&A portion. So again, what are the benefits of legalizing marijuana? So what they're saying is that there is going to be approximately $350 million in taxes collected due to the legalization of marijuana, and potentially create 30 to 60,000 jobs. Now, just take a look at the bottom of that graphic. This is the breakdown. 40% to education, 40% to community grants reinvestment fund, and a measly 20% going to drug treatment and public education fund. That's lopsided. That should be a little bit higher. Maybe, 60% should go to drug treatment, because from what I've always been taught, growing up from a little guy, is that they claim that, marijuana is the gateway drug. So if you're making it legal, you can have up to 3 ounces, on your person, up to 5 pounds in your home. And I didn't even get into the marijuana plants. If you plan to cultivate your own marijuana, you can have up to three adult marijuana plants, at one time per person in the home. So what type of drug treatment, plans does the state have in effect? I don't know, but 20%, it's not enough. I think that should have been 20%, for the schools, considering the lottery already, is there for education. So they already have a big chunk of funding, due to the lottery system. And, that 20%, I don't think that's enough at all. So let me go back to something that Conversations with D and D says about the kids already in school getting high and not performing, and let's see what's going to happen. So I don't think this really would affect our school age children, because right now you have to be 21, and I'm not saying that you're 16 or 17 or even 18-year-old high school student don't have access to marijuana, which I know they do. But we can't turn around now and say, look what's happening to our youth because of this. They already have access to it. If people follow the law, then, at age 21, they can do whatever they want because they're now an adult. Ahan says, no more police harassment searches of I smell weed from the police and overcrowded jails for victimless crime, and more tax revenue for the state if they tax it from a dispenser. You're 100% correct. There was something put out where they specifically said you can no longer do that. So you hit the nail right on the head. If you pulled over a vehicle and they smelled of marijuana in the car prior to this law, you had what they call reasonable cause to believe. If I had a very, strong scent of marijuana, I had a reasonable cause to believe that there was more marijuana in the car. And did I search? Nah, I never did, but I did make sure that they were within their faculties to operate that motor vehicle. And I can tell you, in my entire time, I've only had one arrest where the person openly admitted, yeah, I just finished smoking a blunt, and they just blew through a stop sign. And I arrested him, and that just led to, having to get a urine sample and a blood sample and chain of custody. It was a mess. But there was something actually that was put out by AAA, and they are stating that they conducted a study, and they said that 35% of people who are likely to speed down a residential street after drinking, that number would increase to almost 55% for those who decided to smoke marijuana after they had a drink. So you're going from 35% to 55% of the people who speed, all because of this marijuana. And one thing that I personally hate, or I really dislike with the passion, is those people who drive and text. Now, they're saying that 21% of the people actually admitted to texting and driving after they had alcohol. And now that number nearly doubled to 40%. 40% of the people now are saying that they're going to text, after they drink and have, a pull off of their joint or their blunt. That's insane. Why is that? I did a video years ago, and, I tend to like to give people, warnings and breaks, if I stop them for certain violations. But 9 people in this country die every single day due to distracted driving. 9 people every single day. That's 9 different families that are affected, whether it's the individual who's driving and they die due to their distracted driving, or they do something, that causes somebody else to die. That's a lot of people every single day. 9 people. That's insane. So I think this marijuana problem, well, it's not a problem right now, but I think by it being legalized, I think it's going to eventually become a very, very big problem in the state of New York. Now, I don't know what the statistics are in the other states, with respect to if they saw an increase in accidents or deaths or anything like that. I don't know what their numbers are, but I'm definitely going to be paying attention, to, the numbers here in New York. Again, it's my home state. So I have to pay attention to what's going on. I got small children, and I really want to get them, out of here. And those that know me know what my plan already is. So I'm just going to be leaving, all of this, in my rearview mirror. So that's pretty much it. That's just really, as I always say, that's the layman's, explanation of this new marijuana law. It's not a lot. All you have is you're allowed to have up to 3 ounces on your person at any given time in public. You can have up to 5 pounds in your home. You can have more than 3 ounces and more than 5 pounds if you have a prescription and, your primary care physician or your doctor, whoever it is, prescribes, you more. It breaks down. Let me go back to the chart, that you can't give it to any individual who's under the age of 21. You can, again, smoke marijuana anywhere that cigarette smoking is allowed. What else? And the record expungement, those who were charged with, as Ahan said, a victimless, crime in a sense, those records are going to be expunged. So that's really it. Again, I like to give you guys the layman's terms or the layman's explanation of what a law is that's going to affect you in some, shape or fashion. And that's pretty much it. So anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns before we jump into the live Q&A? Let me just go back to the comments, catch up with you folks. Conversations with D&D, even though it's 21 plus, destruction, academic failure, dropping out, failing, it's easier to get. Yes, but once again, if you're 21 and you're still in school, that's a problem. You probably failed and flunked out of school already. But I don't think that's going to be a problem for our school age children right now because they have access to it already. So they're going to do what they want to do. So that's pretty much it with that, guys. Let me just jump into the live Q&A so we can get the questions and answers, done and out of the way. All right, so let's get into the live Q&A. I know Big Mac Sam always asks, is it on topic? Doesn't have to be on topic. It could be about the marijuana. It could be just a general question, something that you heard, something, that you have a concern about. I'm here to answer any and all questions and just engage with you guys. So before I even get into the Q&A, as I always say, am I an expert in my field? Yes. That's not my opinion. That's the opinion of the law. Every time I go to criminal court and I get on the stand, they always say, how many arrests have you made? How long have you been, performing your job function? And once I answer those questions, they always say, this person is an expert based on the length of their employment, the number of arrests. Traffic court's the same thing, the number of summonses. I've written over 10,000 plus, probably 12,000 summonses, in my career. And before you say, whoa, that's a lot, I give warnings to probably 3 times more than that. So I have, initiated thousands upon thousands and thousands of car stops. And if I've issued, let's just round it off to 10,000 summonses, I've given 30,000 warnings. So I am an expert. I'm very happy, saying that. So I'm here for you guys with these questions and answers. So Big Mac Sam says, now I'll start getting interesting questions from my students in class. They will say it's legal, blah, blah, blah. You can operate a vehicle if you're high. Well, Big Mac Sam, for those who don't know, he has a YouTube channel, Big Mac Sam, as well as Terry the Barefoot Vlogger. If you guys are interested in, moving to Florida and you want to check out some videos, please check out Terry the Barefoot Vlogger and Big Mac Sam. He has a driving channel. He's a driving instructor, teacher here in the state of New York. They both have very engaging channels, and they both present very well, and they have great content. So please go check them out. As I always say, it costs you absolutely nothing out of your pocket to go out there and support these content creators. So Big Mac Sam, your students are going to say that, yeah, it's legal. They can, smoke and drive. Absolutely not. Right now, there are some tests out there that you can test on the side of the street or roadside to see if an individual is, under the influence of that TCH. But they're very ineffective right now. It's just kind of like, the whole, COVID-19 tests. When they first came out, you were getting a lot of false positives. And as, they developed these tests, they became more and more reliable. I think right now these marijuana tests are going to be, in the same boat, I guess, as, technology advances and they, do more and more with these test kits, you're going to know if that person is operating that vehicle under the influence of marijuana, and they're going to be charged similarly as driving under the influence. The Barefoot Vlogger, Terry, is saying a lot of people are smoking a liquid form of marijuana, like an oil in a cartridge they vape. They seem to be much more concentrated than weed. Do the same rules apply for these forms? Well, it's just a matter of the concentration, as you said. So the rules still apply because it's just the cannabis oil that they're utilizing, in these vape pens or whatever you want to call them. So the same rules will absolutely apply. Scary because if it's a strong marijuana effects, depth perception, very important when driving a vehicle. Yes, indeed. Ahan says there is no measurement to see how high you are like drinking alcohol yet. Absolutely correct. Again, there are tests that are out there. They are readily available, but they're just not effective at all. So these people are going to be out there. Yeah, they do it now. I can't tell you how often I'm either on or off duty, and we'll be walking somewhere or I'm patrolling somewhere and a car will go by and you just smell it immediately. So they're out there doing it. It's just no test available to gauge the level of how high they are yet, which it just boggles my mind. Big Mac Sam, distracted driving is one of the topics I talk about in my class. I think I mentioned it to you before. I appreciate you so much for, doing the job that you do, teaching these new drivers, the rules of the road. And I'd rather you get to them before I get to them. Because at the same time, I do education as well, in a sense, but my education is on the side of the road. And sometimes, I tend to overeducate in a sense, but people call it, a tongue lashing. That's not what I do. I just try and give the people the education, on the side of the road, without them, getting summonsed and having to go to court and money out of their pocket. And it's just crazy right now. So that's just something that I don't want to do. Chill Man, Still Chill says, I know people who smoke weed and drive all the time. Listen, they're out there, man. So just be careful if you're driving around, and, just be aware that it's legal. And I know a lot of people are very happy that it's now legal. So they're going to do it. They may not drive, and smoke because they don't want to run the risk of getting caught. Because if you are observed smoking it and driving, that's reason to get stopped. And that's just going to be a headache for you who's smoking, not for the law enforcement officer. It's going to be a headache for you. But be mindful, you can smoke out in public. So you might be at a party at a friend's house and, you're smoking. and you can decide to get in the car and drive. That's what scares me. I know Terry said it's scary, man. People are going to be high, and it's not a good time. And again, those of you who know me, you know what my plans are. I cannot wait, to leave all of this nonsense behind me. Let's see. Big Mac Sam, I guess those that drive and smoke weed and can do it well, their body is used to it. Yeah, I would assume that there is a certain tolerance level, if you want to, put it that way, that these people have built up over the years. But again, who knows, if now you're out drinking, you're partying, it's legal, it's a problem. It's going to be a big, big, big problem. Chill man, they are doing it regardless, 16 to 20 years old and not waiting until 21. Yeah, it's a problem because, prior to the law, it was illegal. And, anybody that wanted to smoke it, they knew exactly where to go get it from. Big Mac Sam says, I am currently working on another video because what happened to me recently, his cat converter was stolen. Yeah, Big Mac Sam informed me, a few days ago that his car was violated. He had his catalytic converter stolen. It's a shame. You can't have anything these days. What a shame. Set Free and Delivered donated $1.99 to the channel. Thank you so much, Set Free and Delivered. I definitely appreciate you making that donation. As I always say, every dollar that I get goes back into the channel, and it helps me, deliver the content that I bring to you guys. So, as I always say, please don't forget to hit the like button. Very important. The analytics, recognize you hitting that like button. It helps me, boost the channel up a little bit. And as always, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's see. Big Mac Sam says you are going to have to give a lot of money away on your live so people would tune in and watch. Just 3 or 4 people here. Dang, just kidding on the money part. Listen, it's not about 3, 4, 5 people here, 35 minutes into the live. I don't care if that number said 0. I'm here to present content, and you have to look back actually at some of the previous lives. And that's why I reference what they call the replay love, because you get a lot of replays. People might not be here, to enjoy and partake in the live and, enjoy in that conversation that we're having right now. So they'll have to watch it at their leisure. So again, my whole thing is, and it's always been, it just matters to me for just one person. That's it. If I can reach one person, make a difference in that one person's life, get them to, change their way, have a better understanding, make it safer for themselves, make it safer for me, make it safer for you, Ahan, Terry, Set Free and Delivered, Chill Man. If it makes the roads and our lives just that much better for one person, it was all worth it. I don't care. It was all worth it. So numbers, it doesn't matter to me. Some of my videos, in the thousands, versus, maybe 16 or 17 views. It don't matter to me. You know why? Because I reached somebody, and that's all that matters to me. Just reaching one person. So if you know me, you don't know me, know it now. One person, that's all I do it for. So 3, 4, don't matter to me, bro, at all. Conversations with D&D, my lovely wife, working with cancer patients. I know personally the medical marijuana does help with the pain management. As a mom, I cannot agree with recreational. As a parent, I'm there with you 100%. I'm just not in agreement of this law at all. There are other ways, to put, I guess, money in the state's, coffers. But doing this, I'm definitely opposed to it. It's not worth it. Raise the fees, on the motor vehicles. It costs, I think, me $71 to register my car for every 2 years. I'd rather you bump that up to $75. Listen, in the next couple of years, raise it to $300. I don't care. I'm not going to be here, but do something like that. Raise the fees on, certain things that people, right now enjoy. Driving a car, I'm sorry, owning a car is a right, but having a license to drive it is a privilege. Raise those fees up, a couple bucks, and you'll get that same, revenue stream coming in, doing it that way. A hands. How do you feel about New York cops getting not getting qualified immunity anymore? So, as I said, Ahan always seems to keep me on my toes, and I appreciate it. Listen, that's a conversation for another topic. I have my opinions on that as well. And as I said, that's a conversation that I'll definitely have at another time. Right now, me answering certain questions, whether it's on a live or uploading a video, I have to walk a very fine line so I don't get myself in trouble and make sure that there is no conflict of interest. So stay tuned. Stick with me, stay with the channel. I appreciate you being here. At some point in the future, I'm just going to be, letting it all out. So just be prepared, for, I guess, your socks to be blown off, because you're not going to believe, the things that I have to say. And I'm not divulging any, secrets. I'm not throwing people under the bus. I'm just offering, my perspective, my opinion on certain things. So just stick around, bro. Or ma'am, again, I don't know, man, female, I don't know. But Ahan, just stick around. Trust me. Big Mac Sam says, I agree with about the views. Yeah, listen, just reach one person, man. It was all worth it. The Barefoot Vlogger, thank you so much, my friend Terry. $10 donation. You always keep it real and help us with your knowledge and expertise. Onward and upward, brother. Thank you so much, Terry. I definitely appreciate your generous donation to the channel. Nico Grandos Penza, love from Hayward, California. Glad you guys finally hopped on the train. If weed can be used recreational, then neither should. If weed can be used recreational, then neither should alcohol. Nico, I appreciate you checking in from the Sunshine State. No, I'm sorry, the Golden State, California. I appreciate you checking in. See, Sunshine stayed on my mind. But I appreciate you checking in, man. Listen, you're saying that, if weed isn't legal, then alcohol should not be legal. I'm not quite following what you're saying. Maybe you can articulate, your statement just a little bit more, because I'm just a little bit lost. All right, Ahan is confirming he's a dude. All right, Ahan, appreciate you. Big Mac Sam says, I guess there's going to be more weed sellers. No, because right now there are plans in the works to establish those marijuana dispensaries. And one thing about the law, which doesn't really affect you or I or anybody else in this state, is that local villages or local municipalities can object to dispensaries being placed in their local jurisdiction. I don't know how that's going to apply for an area that's unincorporated. For instance, I know there was something in news about the village of Rockville Center. They said, no way, no how, not coming here. But they are an incorporated village. Again, like the village of Hempstead, Freeport, Long Beach, or Long Beach is a city. But all of these places, they have a right to say no. They don't want, this particular thing, in their area of jurisdiction. But they cannot, which I kind of agree with, they cannot say, no, this is not legal here. So with you being able to smoke at a bar, outside within 100 feet, they can't restrict that. There's not going to be any extra weed sellers out there. You can't go out there now and get yourself a pound of weed and go stand on the corner and sell it, you're going to find yourself, in some very serious trouble. Let's see. So Nico Pinza is saying can't. So again, are you saying that weed cannot or should not be legal? Again, just formulate your statement just a little bit, because these bits and pieces, I'm losing you. I'm sorry. Big Mac Sam says, do you get calls for stolen cats? No, absolutely not. We're not talking about the animals. We're talking about the catalytic converters. No, I don't get those types of calls. No. Chill Man Still Chill says, drug dealers on the rise. No, that's not going to happen. One thing I can tell you is that the state don't want partners. Okay. So you're not going to get, an influx of drug dealers just because it's now legal. That's not going to happen. They don't want partners. What they're going to get is a legitimate business that's set up, that's paying taxes to the state. You're a corner drug dealer. They're not paying taxes. Now, if the state turns around and say, hey, we're going to give, business licenses to, drug dealers on the corner, which I don't see happening, it ain't going to ever happen. Sorry. Set free and delivered. I do not know any successful potheads. I'm sure they're out there. I just don't know any. I know that I grew up with a few people that smoked marijuana, and they're not doing anything with their lives at all. They're either working a dead-end job with no career aspirations whatsoever, no pension to speak of, just nothing. And their lives just went straight down. And I'm not going to mention who they are, but that's definitely, an issue. No successful potheads is what I'm saying. All right, Nico. If weed is illegal, then alcohol should also be illegal. Okay, I understand what you're saying. But unfortunately, there's too much money in both of them. Alcohol, and I don't know, about prohibition, when it was illegal. But it's big money. And I'm sure there are a lot of lobbyists in the alcohol industry who paid big money to keep it legal. So I don't think you'll ever see alcohol being illegal. And this is new. Again, New York State is number 16 with legalizing, marijuana. So I don't think your statement is 100% on point. In your humble opinion, I see that. Thank you. Let's see. Ahan is telling Set Free and Delivered, you need to get out and meet more people. Hey, listen, Set Free said it. She just doesn't know of any that are out there. Big Mac Sam has a personal question. How old is my tat? Hold on. Set Free and Delivered. How about doctors writing prescriptions claiming there is a need when there isn't? I could see them getting in trouble, Set Free and Delivered. I can definitely see them getting in trouble with doing that. And the only reason why I say that, if you think about the opioid addictions right now, they're just writing prescriptions, because they're getting a kickback from these drug manufacturers. I don't think anybody really wants to risk their medical license just to write a prescription for that. So Big Mac Sam is asking, how old is my tat? I just noticed it. Well, I have really, I'll show you. So this one here, if you can see it, this is up here. You really can't see it, but up here is my fire department helmet shield. For those who don't know, I volunteer with my local fire department since 1995. I rose through the ranks. I was second lieutenant, first lieutenant, and captain of my company, actually twice. And then I rose to the rank of chief. So I served 3 years at the chief's office, and it was a great experience. I'm still involved. I'm not active, I took what is called life membership, where I still have all of the benefits, as an active firefighter. I just don't have to respond to any calls. I still go to meetings. Well, I haven't been to a meeting since COVID, but meetings and functions and things like that. Um, that's what this represents. And this here is my work shield, which it's missing the my shield number and the agency information in here. I didn't want to jinx myself by putting any of that information in there and then turn around and lose my job. But once I am retired, I'll finish putting in. I'll finish putting in all of that information. And this is just some art, with the skin being torn, skeleton face peeking out, just representing, you'll always see my inner self because I'm not fake. Terry said it. This just represents you will always see my inner self because I am who I am. And on this side is just in the line of fire. That was like my first fire department tattoo, which it does literally say in the line of fire. Made sure of that, it doesn't say, love mom or anything like that. But what's interesting, and I'm probably going to have the wife, take a picture of it so I can show you in a little bit more detail. There is some Latin in here, nulens, volens, and something else here. I can't even remember. I haven't looked at it, which has, some important meaning to me. Let's see. Ahan says, I know lawyers and judges that smoke weed. Listen, I had a lieutenant that said, this is long before, it was legal, that said, hey, I'm going to enjoy a nice one as soon as I retire. So are there active judges and lawyers smoking it? Absolutely. I'm sure they are. I just hope they're not high on the bench, when they go to make a ruling on any of my cases. But I don't think, state employees are going to be permitted, whether state, city employees or any civil service employee. I don't think they're going to be permitted to partake in any type of, marijuana or any narcotics for that matter, because it's just going to be a violation of their internal policy. And it's just not going to happen. Lawyers, something completely different. But don't expect any police officers, firefighters, any civil service, sanitation, any county worker or anybody like that. Don't expect them, to go out there and start smoking, because I think it's going to be a violation of their policies, as I stated. And for me, we're subject to random testing. So I can't go out there and say, hey, it's legal, and go smoke one and then turn around and, go to work. And then randomly, they're going to send me for a random. And I'm just, I just screwed myself. So no, judges, probably not, because they're considered, city, state, or county employees. So like I said, the lawyers, maybe. Judges, definitely not. Let's see. Conversations with D&D says opioids are big money. Doctors have been arrested as well for selling when there's no actual medical need. There are several cases out there right now that you can Google where one particular doctor, and I can't remember, this was very recent, within the past month or two, where this guy just wrote an inordinate amount of scripts, and I forgot just how much money this guy was, making just writing those prescriptions. So it's a big problem. Rolling on Three Wheels. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you checking in. Rolling on Three Wheels saying medical marijuana in the workplace, not going to happen. I don't know if you were here at the top of the presentation, but there is some verbiage contained within the law, man, that, is going to prohibit that. But, you and I, we talk enough. We'll talk offline about it. But that workplace thing for civil service people, not going to happen. And rolling on three, I gave your example of the restaurant worker, going out and smoking on their break and then coming back and smelling like marijuana, serving me. I gave that. That's where the example came from, rolling on three wheels. Again, as with the Barefoot Vlogger, and Big Mac Sam, Rolling on Three Wheels, has a channel on YouTube. He was, and I always say this, it's funny to me, he was rolling with me from the very beginning. Right now, he has his own channel, very successful. He is now, and I can say it openly, he's a Can-Am, ambassador. Check out his channel. He does anything and everything about rolling on three wheels, these motorcycles that are out there. So please go subscribe to his channel, check out his content. Very engaging as well. Let's see. The Barefoot Vlogger says alcohol will stand your blood for 10 to 12 hours in your urine for 3 to 5 days. Marijuana will stay in your blood for 2 weeks and your urine up to 30 days. Very interesting facts. I have to agree with you. And that's something that, is in my calendar of content that I'm looking to create. I did a video years ago about the effects of alcohol on the body, and, the same thing, with the BAC. So this is something that, I plan on working on as well. And, bringing that information to you about the effects of marijuana, and same thing, how long it's in your body, what happens, and all of these other things that can take place. So thank you very much, Terry, for that tidbit. Ahan says, when was the last time you had a random? It's been a little while since I've been on a random, but it happens. I definitely have gone. I've gone in the past. It seemed like 2 days in a row, and I believe that was like 2009. They sent me, and they just, the next day they sent me again. I'm like, I thought this was random, but apparently these computer systems spit out names randomly and they send you. So yeah, I've been on randoms. I haven't been on been on a random in a little while, but definitely within, the time prior to COVID starting, I definitely went twice. So it happens. All right, so I think we're all caught up with all the Q&A. As I always say, I definitely appreciate, you guys being here and joining me and taking the time out of your, schedules to partake, in the information that I, present. I'm not adding any extra, fluff, to my lives, whatever the information is, it is. I put it out there as simply as I can. As much as you guys, want to, engage in the conversation in the Q&A, I'm here for you. But we are 55 minutes in, and where does the time go? I definitely appreciate, you guys sticking around with me on that. On this live, not on that, but on this live. I definitely appreciate you guys being here. So what else we have? Nico, I know alcohol will always be legal. That's the reason I agree with weed legalization, because I think it's no worse than alcohol. What's your opinion on which is worse, which should be legal? Well, Nico, let me put it to you like this. Yes, alcohol is legal. At one point in time, it was not. In the state of New York, again, just last month, it wasn't legal, but now it is. On my opinion, which one is worse? I think they're both just as bad. If you can enjoy your alcohol at home or drink responsibly, then you should be entitled to it because it's legal. Marijuana, it's something different, and it's just for me personally. I don't think that it should be legal. And again, I know people can get it illegally. I know it. I'm not a fool. I'm not blind to that fact. So yes, it should be legal. I guess maybe I'm just going to contradict myself. If people can get it illegally, why not make it legal? I think it's just because of the revenue that Andrew Cuomo sees. Again, he's got his own issues. I'm not going to bring that up right now, but I think it's just, a opportunity for the state to tax, its residents, to get that apparent $350 million in tax revenue, generating 30 to, I don't see how it's going to generate 30 to 60,000 jobs in the state. I don't see that. I'd like to see where they got that information from. And again, I know I'm kind of deviating from your question, but I'd love to see how that's going to generate 30 to 60,000 jobs in this state. But which one is worse? I think they're both the same, man. I think they both are equally, destructive if, they're not, I guess I'll say, enjoyed, respect responsibly. If you go out and you continue to drink every single day, to the point where you're intoxicated, and you go out there and decide that you want to get behind the wheel and, get into an accident and kill someone, that's just as bad as you getting, behind the wheel of a car and you're high off of marijuana. So they're both just as bad. So I can't say that I favor one over the other. I think they're both just as destructive, man. I don't know if, it answered your question or not. It probably didn't. But let me take a peek at this question again. What's your opinion on which is worse? Which should be legal? That's kind of a loaded question in a sense. Again, my answer is they're both just as destructive, man. They're both going to cause damage. The alcohol, I've seen the effects, of alcohol. I've arrested, quite a few people who have driven under the influence of alcohol. I gave, an example of only one person that admitted that they just smoked marijuana, and I would have never known if they didn't run a stop sign, and they were arrested. But they're both bad. Which one should be legal? Alcohol is legal, marijuana is legal, so they're both legal at this point. I never got asked what's my opinion on it. There was no vote community wise. There was no referendum on that. Listen, it is what it is, man. Sorry. Ahan says, so is this live chat open to anything going on with police right now? Like I said, it's open to whatever you want to talk about, man. It's not weed specific. You got a question, ask, man. Again, as I stated before, I do walk a very fine line to make sure that I don't, offend anybody. I make sure that I don't get myself in trouble by saying too much, and, to make sure that there's no conflict of interest. So ask away. Big Mac Sam is asking, still working on that book? Yes, I am. I'm actually about 99.8% done. I just added a bunch more information to the book. So I'm almost there. And again, it won't be until, I retire before that book gets released. I do have some low content books out now, by the way. If you choose to go to Amazon and check them out, I'm going to put a link to my author page for Amazon. You can go and check out, the low content books there. My wife also just got 2 of her low content books published on Amazon as well. But this is just another revenue stream, that I put out there. It's nothing fancy, it's just something that I had in my heart that I wanted to do, and I put those things out. But my main book, 99.9% done, man. I'm almost done. Just working on a couple of little components towards the end, and then the cover. That's going to be the hardest thing for me right now, is the cover. All righty. Ahan is asking, what are your thoughts on the Dante Wright shooting? Sad this happened over a weed charge that the Zoom court date got sent to the wrong house and he didn't know about it. What's my opinion on Dante Wright? So what I know so far is that the officer that fired her weapon was on the job for 24 years. And the opinions, and again, these are the opinions of those who are critiquing what occurred, is that she should have known better. She did resign out of the best interest of the community, I believe she said. So that's what individuals are saying in the media. My personal opinion is that it was very tragic. Again, I had a conversation with a coworker earlier today, and if anybody knows the difference between a regular firearm and a taser, the taser has this, it's bright yellow. So if you have that taser extended, you see that that bright yellow piece of equipment is in front of you versus your firearm. It's a solid color. So should she have known the difference between the two? Maybe, maybe not. But that was a very high stress situation. And if you watched my last live and I gave the real story from the street, I explained about a high stress situation that I was involved in with a shooting that involved an off-duty officer. I come upon the scene and all I see is an individual with a firearm. I see another male individual laying on the ground. Go back and look at that story. I explain about the out-of-body experience that I had. My story was probably 8-9 minutes long, but it wasn't 8-9 minutes long when that actual event took place. It was seconds, man, seconds. So I can understand that she was in a high stress situation. I can understand that things did happen that should not have happened. My opinion, again, it's only my opinion. And I explained this. The taser is bright yellow. The firearm is a solid color. Did she just have that out of body experience? Was she just so pumped up with adrenaline that she did not notice the difference between the taser and a firearm? Look at the video. She yells, taser, 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 which is what you're trained to do. Taser, taser, taser. Just like with the pepper spray. Before we take that can, or we take the can out, we shake it up, make sure the contents, are mixed well, and we have to shout out commands. Spray. We have to say these things. So I am giving a command. I'm letting you know this is imminent. Spray. It don't take a rocket scientist to realize, hey, I'm about to get sprayed with something. Whoever's around me, whether it's another law enforcement officer, they hear that spray. They know I'm going to deploy my pepper spray. If I have that taser out and I say taser, 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 something is coming. She said it. Look at the video again. She said it. Taser, taser, taser. She deployed a firearm. She let off a round. Tragic. Should have never happened, but I wasn't there. I'm not going to sit here and Monday morning quarterback that situation. I wasn't there. I don't know what was going on through her mind. 24 years on a job or 2 years on the job. Until you put on a uniform and you're in that situation, you do not know how you're going to react. That's my opinion. That's my answer, rather, on your question. It was tragic, man. It's just another individual that lost their life. And, I don't want to say it was intentional because I wasn't there. I'm not in that officer's head. I don't know what she was thinking. It was a high stress situation. The guy started to resist. He went back in the car. What was he going back in the car for? We don't know. I don't know if that information is coming out or not. Was there a weapon in the car? We don't know. I'm sure time will tell. But just go on YouTube, man. Look at all of the videos. I used to put those videos out on my channel all of the time, but I took them off because it was just, that's a whole nother story. But there's plenty of videos out there where people have gone back into the cars to retrieve a weapon, or the law enforcement officer walked up on the car and they immediately, just got, pelted with, a few rounds. People have lost their lives. That's my answer, man. Listen, it was a stressful situation. I wasn't there. It should not have happened the way it happened. I don't know all of the details, so I cannot offer my full unbiased opinion as of yet. Let's see. Big Mac Sam says, my wife says she wants to get it. Thank you so much. Are we talking the low content books, or we're talking, the new, my main book? But just check out, I'll send you, I'll put the links for both my page, my author's page, and, my wife's page as well. I think your wife might like her journal. I picked one up. Matter of fact, here it is. This is my wife's journal, Grow Through It, for church notes and prayer journal. This is a low content book. It allows you to take your notes. It's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but just check it out. I'll put a link down there for her. This actually was published on her birthday. That was a great birthday gift for her. So check that out. Let's see. Where are we? Let me just catch up. Big Mac Sam says, I guess her mind wasn't processing right when in that high stress situation. Absolutely correct. Big Mac Sam says, have you been pepper sprayed for training? With my current employer, no. But I am a certified fugitive recovery agent. I do have that certification. I haven't been on any task force in a very long time. The last fugitive I went after, I want to say maybe 97, 98. Where my partner and I, we got on this little task force and we went searching for people. But with that training, you had to take a shot of pepper spray. And it really wasn't that they sprayed you. They just really took a small amount and actually lined your eyes with it. And man, let me tell you, I thought I was going to die. Sarah O'Mallon, Little Feet says, hello, Uncle Darnell. My sister is in the house. What's going on? My niece, Riley, such an adorable little girl, full of character, man. I wish I could share some of the stuff that, my sister sends, the videos and the pictures, a character. She's destined to be, a comedian. She's going to have a show. I'm going to put that out there right now. That little girl is going to have her own show. Rolling on Three Wheels says, sad situation. Yes, indeed it was. Ahan, what are your thoughts on the Army lieutenant in Virginia that the police pulled the firearm on and sprayed OC in his face? That one literally broke my heart. I watched that video and that guy was just so calm, man. He's like, what's going on? Wasn't screaming, wasn't belligerent in any way whatsoever. And he was humble. He had on his Army fatigues. He was in full uniform. The officer, asked him, are you, I forgot what he said to him, and he says, yes, I'm a lieutenant. And the officer said, well, I'm a veteran too. The lieutenant that was, the subject of the car stop, said he was scared. And what aggravated me and broke my heart was that, that officer said you should be, so that situation right there, uncalled for. I don't like what I saw. Like I said, it broke my heart. That guy got pepper sprayed, and it's so sad, man. You're killing me with that one. I don't want to tell people to go and look at that, body cam footage. But that right there should definitely never, ever should have happened. It was uncalled for. And if anybody needs to lose their job, and I never want to see people lose their job, that guy needs to lose his job. Absolutely. He needs to resign because what he did was uncalled for. I don't see any justification whatsoever At all. Never explained the reason for the stop. Never said anything. And that's law enforcement 101. The reason why I'm stopping you is this. This is the reason why never said any of that. Maybe it happened. I didn't see it. Maybe they just didn't share that part of the body cam footage. But to answer your question again, never should have happened. I didn't like it. It broke my heart. Total disrespect. Never, ever, ever should have happened. So Big Mac Sam is saying the main book, yeah. When it comes out, I'll give you guys a copy. Set Free and Delivered, sad situation. Nico is saying, do you personally think AR-15 should be banned? Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions. Not a problem, Nico. That's why I'm here. That's why I really, really do like the live Q&A portion of the broadcast, because it allows me to, engage. We really can't engage with an upload. So should AR-15s be banned? No. It's your right. It's your right to bear arms. And again, guns don't kill people. People kill people. I don't personally like states that have open carry, but I understand why they have them. If you choose to walk down the street and your state's open carry with an AR-15, by all means, listen, it is what it is. That's what the law says. Your right as a citizen says that you have the right to bear that firearm. So no, they should not be banned. People have unfortunately lost their lives, due to gun violence, these mass shootings, and they're using these high capacity, magazines and these powerful rifles. Can't blame the gun on that. I blame the individual. So they should not be banned. Absolutely not. Big Mac Sam, talking about birthday, big 50 from you at the end of the month. You got your invite for AARP and you joined. Well, man, congratulations on the birthday. I'll be 50 myself in November. So congratulations and happy birthday to you. I'm not laughing. You're saying, I think that officer did get fired. We're talking about the VA. If they did, I haven't heard about it. But good. That's something I'm saying openly. Good. Ahan, do you think the show Live PD or Cops should return on TV? It makes my blood boil that people don't know their rights on dealing / talking to the police while watching the show. Yes, those shows should come back. Live PD, I actually enjoyed. Cops, I was a big, watcher of that show for many, many, many years, very, very early on. I love that show. I miss it. They do have reruns of those shows, so I watch them, when I can. One reason why I like them personally is, one, believe it or not, those shows helped shape me as an individual. I learned what not to say, what not to do, how to be professional. When you watch the professionals and how they handle themselves and things like that, I take a page from their book. Oh, wow. You know what? I like how they said that. I'm going to do that. Oh, I like the way they handled that situation. I'm going to do that. Should I ever be confronted with that particular situation? I think it's good for the average citizen to watch those shows as well. It's not about, oh, let me catch the bad guy. You know what? It shows the interaction of law enforcement and what law enforcement officers go through on, a day-to-day basis. There's uncut versions of that show that you will never see. They might they're not putting them out now, but there were a few uncut takes of those shows that I actually saw, and I thought they were a little gritty, but very good shows. I like them. I hope they do bring them back at some point. Let's see. Barefoot Vlogger, Miami Vice, greatest cop show ever. Never liked it. Didn't like the movie either. Um, Believe it or not, I kind of liked Hill Street Blues back in the day. I know I was still very young when that show came out, but I kind of enjoyed that. Don't laugh, but Barney Miller was very funny. But it's funny now, looking at how those shows, were then. Knowing what I know now, looking at those shows is just very funny. Nico, thoughts on prison industrial complex? It's a business. I don't like it. I think there are people who are in jail unnecessarily. I know they don't have those private, prisons here in my state, but they have them elsewhere in the country, and they are in the business of keeping people in jail. So I don't like it. I don't like the fact that people are in jail for petty crimes. I'm also, a person that does not like the whole bail reform thing that's going on. Should people not be in jail for petty things? Yes, but I think the bail reform, which is a whole nother topic that I really don't want to get into, is an issue. But the prison industrial complex, again, those prisons are, built, to house people unnecessarily. It's a business, and I don't think states should be allowing prisons to be built as a business. That's just my thing. Hey, Sarah, sending a virtual hug and elbow bump. Thank you so much, sweetie. Ahan, watching the old 80s cop show, a lot of bad citizen and bad cop interactions that would get you fired today. Hope hope those cops are retired now. Yeah, a lot of them are, I'm sure, especially the very, very early on cop shows. Well, not cop shows, but the show Cops very early on. Yeah, I think a lot of those guys are definitely retired now. What else we got? I think we are all caught up. We are now at 1 hour, 19 minutes into the broadcast. Appreciate you all being here. Something that I failed to say, my apologies. Let me say hello to those who are viewing on Periscope and on Facebook. We are streaming live to those platforms as well. A lot of content creators that use this particular platform that I'm using right now say that, once you start the show, you should cut them off and force them to, come to YouTube. Doesn't matter to me. Listen, if you are watching on Facebook, thank you so much. If you're on Periscope, appreciate you being here as well. Let's see. Big Mac Sam says, quick, what weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of rocks? Ha, ha, ha. They both weigh the same. Ahan says, last one for him. Have you ever had to stop a fellow coworker for doing anything bad to a suspect? I don't know if you were privy or if you watched a broadcast, and you can look back at one of the comments of the week. An individual made a statement, and I'll answer you like I answered that particular person. No, I have never had to stop a fellow coworker for doing anything illegal. The men and women that I work with are professionals. We're a very small department. We're very tight knit. We have great supervisors. We have great officers. And not once did I ever see, and I know you're probably rolling your eyes right now saying, yeah, right. But I'm going to tell you, honestly, I have never had to stop anybody from doing anything. I never had to back somebody up on a car stop and it was over and say to them, yo, hey, that was a little, unnecessary. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't a little harsh with their words or very stern. I'm not saying that, but I've never had to intercede or interject myself, or whatever, however you want to put it, into a car stop where one of my coworkers was out of control. It's never happened with this agency and the agency that I was with at the start of my career. Never, ever, ever had to do that. I'm not saying that there aren't bad officers out there. They do exist. But once again, the men and women that I work with are professional from day one in our academy. You got your, I don't even know how you would really say it, but I was scared. One particular, sergeant in the training academy, she just instilled that fear, don't do this, don't do that, and over time, I just developed to be the person that I am. But no, man, I've never had to stop one of my coworkers from doing anything that they should not be doing. Now, I have said, hey, maybe, you should have said this, instead of saying that, because they might interpret what you said this way. If you say it that way, it might alleviate, an issue or two, because people complain, they don't want to be stopped. They don't want to get a summons. So they're going to say, oh, officer so-and-so said this to me, but they didn't mean it that way. They meant it a certain way. So we have had tactical communications class, or what they call verbal judo, and that definitely helps. So I'm sorry to disappoint you. If you're expecting me to say, oh yeah, I've had to do it. Nah, I'm not saying to cover up anything. My coworkers are top notch, man. I love working with them. Every opportunity that I get. And we're stand-up officers, both men and women, from the rank of, officer on up to the top. We got some good people out there, protecting, our citizens. So that's my answer. Big Mac Sam is saying good night. All appreciate you being here. Great information. Have a good one. Thank you so much, man. I'm definitely going to be wrapping up soon, unless we got more questions or comments. Ahan says, good chat. Hope to keep you on your toes more in the future. Respect. Listen, I definitely appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. When I see, your comments, pop up, I'm like, let's see what this one's going to be about. But like I said, listen, keeps me on my toes, man. I definitely appreciate, the engagement. It's great, man. So thank you so much. Continue doing what you're doing. Rolling on 3, saying night, everyone. Gotta roll. Appreciate you being here, brother. Please check out Keith Hammer's channel on YouTube, as I said to you guys before. But that's it, guys. Again, I don't like to add any fluff, all the unnecessary things with these live broadcasts, and even with my uploads. I like to get straight to the point. My apologies for not having, all of my graphics and things together like I wanted to. There was a little technical issue at the very beginning, and I hope to have that not happen again. So I appreciate you guys being here. As I always say, please don't forget to hit the like button. Very important, for me to have those likes, on the channel. You never hear me say it too often, but please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And as I always say, guys, as I end, all my broadcasts and all of my uploads, something that's very important to me. My favorite verse, in the Bible, and please read it. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. 1 Peter 3:8. I say it all of the time. It has meaning. Finally, meaning here. This is it, guys. All of you, me, you, Terry, Ahan, Big Mac Sam, Set Free and Delivered, Rolling on 3, Sarah O'Malley, Nico. Who else we have? here. Don't want to leave anybody out. Big Mac Sam rolling on 3. Barefoot Vlogger said Terry set free and delivered. Who else? Chill Man, still chill. All of us, we have to be like-minded. Got to be sympathetic. We got to love one another. We got to be compassionate and humble. It's right there for you guys. Thank you so much, for joining, me this evening. I appreciate you all. Much love to you all. Barefoot Vlogger saying good night. All great live. Thanks, Triple C. Thank you so much for the moniker. Terry gave me the moniker Triple C. Cops Court and Community. Triple C. Set free and delivered. Good night. Again, appreciate you all being here. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I got to do some research, do some follow-ups, and get some things done. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Check you all out on the replay. Thank you guys for being here. Again, if you're here for the replay, your comments, questions, concerns, put them in the comments section below. Have a good night, everyone.